I just want to check that everything's working. Can somebody give me a wave just to check that you can hear me? I know you can't actually see the screen yet. That's fine. I know there's lag. Can you just give me a wave if you can hear me, please? Right, not sure you can hear me. Oh yes, good. Evie and Lucas have given me a wave. You can hear me, lovely, thank you. Right, I think you can see the screen now, so finally we'll make a start. So we're still going to be looking at quadratic graphs. So remember, these were the ones that last lesson we were plotting them, and the emphasis was on that symmetry. Okay, so we were finding where we had values, and we were then filling in a table, looking for it, and we were getting graphs that were either that shape or that shape. I know there's a lag, but it's either a smiley face or a sad face, and we were looking for the symmetry. We were then creating the points that we would have plotted in order to draw the graphs, but we weren't actually drawing the graphs. Okay, we'll save that for when we're back in school. Now, what we're doing today, we're actually using these graphs. So the questions that are now on Dr. Frost, I think they would have loaded up a little while ago. Okay, they should be there already. I'll have a look and see if they come through in a minute. Okay, so there's two types of question on today's worksheet. Okay, so I'm just going to wait for it. There'll be a lag before you see the first type of question, so I'll just wait until you see the first type of question. Yeah, there we go. So you're going to have lots of questions that are like this, and it says on the graph paper below, y equals x squared plus x minus 1 has been drawn. And don't worry too much about that inequality at the end. All that's telling you is that it's been drawn from -2. All right, I'm just fluorescent penning it. It will come through in a few minutes. Okay, so all that bit yes, in that inequality, it's just telling you that it's gone from -2 all the way up to 1. Now, for lots of the questions in the worksheet, you're being asked to solve for where it equals 0. Okay, so look at the bottom, use the graph to solve where x squared plus x minus 1 equals 0. Now, any of the questions where it says equals 0, you've got to go and see where the curve cuts the x-axis, where it cuts the x-axis. So any of the questions when it says equals to 0, you've got to go and see where that curve cuts that axis, and those will be your two solutions. So it's quite straightforward. So you've just got to be very careful with the scale. So that first it cuts there. Okay, now looking at the scale, I think we're going all the way from -1 to -2. That's 20 baby squares. Okay, covering it all. So the halfway along was going to be -1.5. So that there is going to be -1.5. So then I can see that I'm going along about 2 squares, and I can't quite see, my line's quite thick on there. Let's say that's gone along 2 baby squares, then that's at -1.6. So that will be one of my answers. And then over on the other side, because these are all going to cross twice, over on the right, it's crossing there. And I think that's about 3 baby squares up. So that's 0.5 would be halfway along. So I think that's going to be about 0.65. Okay, I'm sure there'll be some flexibility in what Dr. Frost allows. So lots of the questions where it says you estimate the solutions using the graph where it equals 0, simply see where the line crosses the x-axis. So that should be quite straightforward. So all the opening questions on the Dr. Frost worksheet are like that. Now, you will also, later on, you'll get some where it's not equal to 0. It's like the one I've done here. It might be equal to 3. So just wait for it to click through onto the second slide. Okay, so there's the second slide. So you'll see at the bottom now, use the graph to solve the equation x squared minus 2x minus 1 equals 3. So it's not equaling 0, it equals 3. So you've got to draw a line across another horizontal line going through 3 on this occasion. Obviously, if it said equals to 2, you do a horizontal line through 2. If it said minus 1, you do a horizontal line through minus 1. And you've got to read off the values where that curve cuts that red line that you've drawn. So I've got to go and do the readings where there and over there, and take those two readings there that are just coming through in purple. So again, I think on this one, I look to be going up every single baby square. It's going to be 10 baby squares, takes me along. I think that's about 3 baby squares. So that's going to be minus 1.3. That will be one of my answers. And then again, I think it's 3 baby squares on the right. So that would be 3.3. So I'm hoping you'll find it quite a straightforward exercise today. I think I've done 15 questions because these should be quite quick. And that's it, folks. All right. So if we get these done, then I just want you going back and carrying on with anything that you haven't finished. I don't think many people have finished that previous one. So if you'd like to make a start on those, please, I'd be grateful. Obviously, once I've stopped the recording, if you've got any queries, please just feel free to unmute, as always, just to get my help. So I've stopped the recording.